Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It's Mr. Reality. If you want to get in touch with me, go to ko-fi.com/reality forecast. I teach associative remote viewing, temporal awareness, perception remote viewing, as well as a soul path alignment course. And that's the best way to get a hold of me. How are you doing, Liz?
I am great, thank you. And I highly recommend Mr. Reality's remote viewing course. Everybody that has taken it has been extremely satisfied. They've learned so much.
It's
And I just
long,
want
but
to
it's
thank you.
in depth and it's a lot of fun.
Mm,
We're going to
yeah.
talk to Ghislaine Maxwell today and her recent testimony to the Department of Justice and see what she really meant when she said this and if she was lying between her teeth and maybe get to the bottom of the story. Well, it might take a couple of pros, but I wonder if we could bring in Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yes. And I've always been confused on the pronunciation of her name, if it's Ghislaine or if it's Ghislaine. So, all right. Let's
Tomato, tomato.
Right. I'm just gonna call her Maxwell. All right, I've got her here. Wow. The first energy that I connect with here as I am mind probing her, she is in like dirty clothes where she hasn't had a shower in a few days and she's fed up. Yeah.
Well, she's in prison, but it's a nice prison now. So is she back down in Texas or is she up in DC? Where is she located?
Why did you get moved to a low security prison? I requested it. So you're still in the extremely low security, yeah. Was that a secret deal? It was.
Well, not so secret. I think we all know. What was your relationship with Jeffrey Epstein?
What was your relationship like with Jeffrey Epstein? It was very difficult. Are you still in Yeah, she's in Texas. Sorry, I didn't answer that first question. What do you mean by it was difficult? It was on and off, very on off. Um, he definitely had some sort of problem with commitment. In fact, as I'm connecting into this energy and I'm mind probing her, it was almost as if she was like a groupie. You know what I mean? Like he does what he wants to do when he wants to do it. He's the star of the show, and she's the groupie that just follows him around and does everything for him. And, it's like a fan. She's like his biggest fan that just follows him around.
Okay. Uh, who instructed you to recruit girls for Epstein? Was it your idea? Was it Epstein's or a third party's directive?
Mm. Who instructed you to recruit girls? He did. He told her. Basically, what did he say? If we wanted to be together, this was how it was going to be.
And she had no problem with that?
And you had no problem with that. She was just so in love with him, like extremely so. Um, she was infatuated, like he could do no wrong. She was hanging on every word. She loved the lifestyle that he brought with him, and she would just support him. No, she did not have a problem. Did you have a problem with it? No. Were you jealous of the girls? No.
Why not?
Why weren't you jealous? Because he had no connection to them, emotional connection. It was all just physical.
Was there any intelligence agency that she was working for when she was working with Epstein?
Mm. Oh, wow. Was there any intelligence agency that you were working for when you were working with Epstein? No,
I find that difficult to believe, and I think a lot of other people do too,
I know.
because her father was so closely tied to MI6, and he went out on a boating cruise and fell off the boat. And there's been speculation that he didn't really fall off. When you're on a boat, you don't fall off, you get pushed off.
Oh, okay. So were you close to your father? She hated her father. They were not close. She hated him.
Who funded Terra Del Mar originally, and who helped launch it with you?
What does Tara Del Mar explain?
It was Terra Mar was her oceanic NGO that a lot of money went through, and people are questioning its authenticity.
Oh, okay. Whose idea was it? Whose idea was Tara? That was his idea. That was Epstein's idea.
And why was she, I guess, was it a passion of hers at all, or she just saw it as a good way to funnel money?
Hmm. Why were you it looks good. It looks good to the public when you have all of this money. It looks like that you are, giving back. Like we can't be bad people because we give so much money away. Did
Right.
you actually give a lot of money away through this charity? No, they used it for expense accounts.
Okay. Yes, there's a lot of funny money going on there as well. And she was also the biggest karma point holder on Reddit. And so, did she get any separate boosting from the Reddit authorities or powers, or did she just really like posting on Reddit?
Oh, what do you mean? So sorry, I'm not a Reddit user. What
On
what do
Reddit,
you
when you
mean?
post something, people give you a thumbs up and like your comment. It gives you good karma points. And Ghislaine Maxwell had the highest karma points of any user on Reddit ever. So, was that
Mm.
artificially boosted by the Reddit moderators, or did she just really like posting on Reddit?
Oh, were you using Reddit? Yeah, that was her posting. And did you just like using Reddit? It was good publicity. And what did you think about all the did you have robots or bots making posts? No. Did you have like a social media team making posts? No, that was her.
Hmm. In your testimony, you claimed to the DOJ recently that Trump was only cordial when flight logs showed he was on multiple trips. So, were you saying that because you were coerced into saying that, or is that something you truly believe?
Ooh. Okay, dun dun dun. Here comes the controversy. Everybody's gonna go mental in the comments. Okay,
By the
let's
way,
see
psychic,
which.
mediumless, cross dimensional reality are not wanting to exit the Earth plane just in case anything happens to us. So, all right, go
Mm.
on with the question.
Oh yeah, yeah, really. Oh my word, I didn't even think about that. Okay, so you said Trump was a perfect gentleman. Did somebody tell you to say that? Was that interview scripted? It was absolutely scripted.
And who gave her the script?
Who gave you the script to say that? It was passed to her by someone in the jail. An envelope with preloaded questions, like all the questions and all the answers. How long did you have to memorize this? She had quite some time to memorize this. She's telling me 2 weeks.
Wow. And was that originally part of your being moved to a minimum security prison? And was that in promise of getting a, let's start there first.
Was that part of the deal of you being moved? Yes.
And was that in promise for a future pardon if you said the right things?
Was that in promise of a future pardon? If you said, no, just the move. She hopes that the pardon will come later towards the end of his presidency, but really it was just the move to this low security prison. She agreed to it. So who approached you? Ooh, God, should I put this out? There's some prison guard in there that is passing her these messages, passing her this information. He's working, for both sides.
And it seems like a minimum security prison might not be the best place for you. Is she worried about being offed?
Ooh, minimum security prison may not be the best place for you. She's aware of that. And are you afraid that someone? No, because technically, and she just did like air quotations, I know nothing.
And yet you're the right-hand gal to Jeffrey Epstein, who knows everything and organized everything.
And yet you're the right hand girl that she knows everything. She does know everything. It's like, the quote that I saw, which I think you've heard me say before, is she was always everywhere, but she knows absolutely nothing. That couldn't be farther from the truth. It's she knows everything.
She's a big photo bomber too. So anytime at the parties down at Epstein Place, you can see her with Elon Musk. You can see her with Bill Gates. You can see her with Trump. She's always sticking her head in, seems like, every photo.
Mm. Was Trump the perfect gentleman? Absolutely not. What about Bill Clinton? No. Was he a gentleman? No.
Was he kind
Is
to
there,
you?
was he kind to you? Always, because she was the facilitator.
And yet she knows nothing.
Mm.
So the interview was scripted. She got the questions beforehand. Was she aware of any underage girls, and by that we mean teenage girls under 18, working at on the island?
Were you aware that these girls were fully aware, under the age of 18, fully aware. That was the whole appeal. That was the attraction, especially for Epstein. Did you not think that Epstein was like a pedophile? No, she never thought. Did you ever think anything bad about him? No, she was so in love with him. She never thought anything bad about what he was doing, what they were doing. Um, it was one of those things where she's completely blindsided by the love she felt for him. And it was not reciprocated.
So how many women or girls under the age of 18 would be housed at, let's say, first on the island at the maximum capacity of underage girls?
Underage girls, how many would be living on the island? 8 to 10 at a time. And
And
the island, she says, it was easier to have them on the island because they couldn't escape.
and how about at Epstein's place in New York?
How about Epstein's place in New York? That was probably 4 or 5. She says it just depended. Did the girls know that you were I mean, she's saying that the girls, look, I'm not victim blaming or anything like that, but she says like the girls knew what they were doing. Were they paid? Sometimes they were paid. So how would you coerce these girls? Well, they would, shower them with gifts and a lavish lifestyle that Epstein would pay for. And that's how she said they were easy to keep around because they all came from nothing. And that was her MO. She just said to me, and that was my MO. So you would purposefully pick like broken girls or girls that were poor. Yes, girls that who were estranged from their families. Most definitely, she said. That was her MO.
Did she work on payments or the day-to-day handling of finances?
Mm. Did you work on payments or the day-to-day handling of finances? No, the payments were run through a business or multiple businesses, and there was accountants that dealt with that. She
Eh,
just handled the clients and the client list. There's that word again, list.
So there is a list, and what did you do with the list? And is the list different from the black book?
Is there a black book? No, there's definitely ledgers, as in large ledgers of clients, client details, what they're ordering, what they're willing to pay. Um, Definitely. a lot of money changing hands. So are those in are those in possession of the FBI or the investigators? Yeah, they confiscated everything. So those books and those ledgers, those documents do exist. Absolutely 100% yes.
Okay, the difference is you mentioned the ledgers and I mentioned the book. The book has already been disseminated, and so not everybody in the book is in the ledger, right? Because he probably
Um,
just knew a lot of famous people and all their phone numbers, but not necessarily those people were client lists.
Okay, so the book is the book different from the ledger? I mean, the book is kind of like a front, okay? The ledgers are the actual, tracking and logs of the businesses, like how many girls did they want, how much they were willing to pay, what business it was being run through. Because again, they were laundering money, they were putting it through multiple businesses. They would use the charity to spend some of that money. Um, and they would donate. So they would donate to the charity, is what she's saying. You would donate to the charity. Yeah, and that way they could spend the money, right? Instead of having to pay taxes on the money that they were spending, because they spend a lot of money, right? They would donate the money to charity, and then the expenses would come out of the charity. So that's how they made a lot of tax breaks. And the lawyers, did the lawyers tell you how to? Yeah, this was all advised by the lawyers. This apparently is something that they all do.
And so the lawyers, were they also clients, the people that were giving them loopholes and providing tax breaks for them, or did they just do it because they were helping launder money?
Are the lawyers, were they clients? Were the lawyers? I mean, one or two of them were good friends, good clients. Um, and I mean, so did you give them discount? I mean, they got their services for free.
And when you're talking about services, are they talking about taking a girl on a vacation, taking her for one night for 4 hours, or were they, uh, if she could give us a little bit more background on how that was ordered and maybe the code words used that we might be able to dig into?
So when you say ordered, like what, can you give us some examples of what they would order from, from your services? And did you have like how was it presented? How would you pair the girls up with the clients? Oh no, the clients pick the girls. Okay, she just said that. How would they do that? Through photographs, she says. So you had, so there's also like albums or books or portfolios. Oh, multiple portfolios. So where the clients would choose. Oh yeah, they got to choose which ones they wanted. And did you write bios? Yes, she did. She wrote like bios like so and so. And did you put the actual ages of these girls next to their photographs? Drum roll. Yes.
And where are those books now? Are they in possession of, or in, do the authorities have those books as far as you know?
Who has those books? The authorities. Now, I have a question. Sorry, Mr. Reality. We channeled Epstein a long time ago, a few years ago, and that video has been subsequently taken down along with that channel. So, but what we did find was that he was also not only taking payments for the clients, but in the background, he was blackmailing them. So on the island, he had hidden cameras set up in the bedrooms. He would film them having, sex with these girls. And did you ever use those tapes or use that ability? Did you ever blackmail people? All the time. That's how they would extort more money. and keep them coming back as clients, right? It's our secret. Don't worry. Now, did they know that you were recording them? No, but it would be like there's a tape. There's a tape. So they don't know that so the clients didn't really put two and two together that you guys were the ones filming them. No, they believe that it was like somebody spying or somebody, with hidden cameras, watching these very high profile people. They never knew that it was Jeffrey and Maxwell who were the ones actually doing the blackmailing. So, how did that come about then? How did you extort money? Did you do it yourselves? I mean, not exactly, not directly. So, did you have other people pretending to be like the blackmailers? Yeah, they had like a gang. So they had people that were then taking this evidence and blackmailing these high profile people for payment, but it wasn't ever directly connected with Epstein or Maxwell. They had these people on the side that were also, so they were double dipping, if you want to use that term. So they're getting the money for the services for the girls, and then on the background, they're also getting money for the extortion and the blackmailing.
And are the blackmailing agencies part of agencies for this country or other countries?
Mm. Where were your blackmail people? Were they American? No, they weren't American. They were they were actual gangsters. They actually approached Jeffrey Epstein with the idea because it wasn't just the girls on the island. There was also an unlimited supply of drugs. So somewhere down in the Caribbean, what she's telling me is they had Caribbean gangs that would regularly supply them with a lot of drugs. It was a very friendly transaction. They also said, look, this is another way you can make some money, and we will help to blackmail. So it looks like that's what was going on. So most was Trump blackmailed? No. Was Clinton blackmailed? No. But a lot of high profile, high powered businessmen married who, if their wives found out, that would be the end of the relationship and they would be taken to the cleaners through divorce. So, and plus there, if it hits the press, high society in New York, she says, that could ruin their entire reputation. They would be ousted from social circles, things like that. So that's the kind of people that they targeted with the blackmail.
Were those proxy gangster mafia agents working for an intelligence agency?
Mm, good question. Were those were they working for an intelligence agency, the gang members? She actually doesn't know the answer to that. So I'm going to group the gang as an entity. Were you working for an intelligence agency? Ooh, there's one person in that gang that is gave me a yes.
Okay, as is the case in so many ops, so many fingers, so many pies. What does she feel is going to happen to her now that she has given the green light on how much of a gentleman everybody was?
So funny. What do you think's going to happen to you now? So there, the other side of this interview was also to make sure that she was protected, that she's not going to get killed. So I've got Epstein standing here. Will Maxwell be murdered in prison? No. Will she get out early? Will she be released early? No. Will she be pardoned? No.
Uh, to Jeffrey Epstein, then, were there girls that were under 13 working for you in any capacity, or were they always teenage girls?
Were the girls under the age of 13 working for you? No, it was 12. Was there a 12-year-old? There was one 12-year-old.
Were there any male prostitutes working for you for other people?
Were there any male prostitutes working for you? No.
And roughly how many girls do you think you employed as either, I don't know what your terminology is for it, but illicit activities?
How many girls? I know employed is kind of a dodgy word, but how many girls did you have on the books that offered? Oh, God. How many? Over 50, if not more. So do you know exactly? Probably closer to 70. What about 100? So let's ask Maxwell, how many girls do you think off the top of your, con or subconscious memory, were on the books and offered to clients? Now she says a lot more. She's saying closer to 100. Because
And
they had
that's,
girls all over the world. Now, the question you asked earlier, which is how did they like pimp these girls out? What were the services? So sometimes were they taken on vacations? Yes, they were. And were they taken out for a night or a weekend? Yes. And were they hourly clients? Very rare that they were hourly clients. That she says that's kind of sleazy, is what she just said to me. It had to
oh,
be something more
like, like the whole thing's not
meaningful.
sleazy. Your
I
definition of sleazy
know.
and mine is a bit far apart.
Mm,
And so does Jeffrey Epstein believe that Ghislaine Maxwell was part of any agency or either domestic or foreign intelligence service?
do you believe that she was part of any agency, domestic or foreign intelligence service? No.
And yet, did he have ties to intelligence services,
Did you have ties to
foreign or domestic?
intelligence services, foreign or domestic? I mean, he had ties. Yes. He had clients that were heads of intelligence agencies, but were you actually handing over information to them? No. And Maxwell handled all the books and things like that. She handled all the client lists. Did you have anything? No, no. He was just there to charm the clients, charm the guests. He really was like the star. Like, oh, here's Jeffrey, here's Epstein. She
Okay.
handled everything in the background.
Who first introduced you to Leslie Wexner, and what agreement did you sign to manage his finances? Was it for illicit affairs?
Who introduced you to? Sorry, Leslie Wexner.
Yep.
Okay, Leslie Wexner. Old-time friend. Okay, but how did you get introduced? So there's somebody very high profile, female, that introduced them. Now, before all you new people sit there and start saying, Liz, you don't know anything. That's good from a remote viewing and a psychic standpoint. Okay. I need to remain neutral and unbiased. So the less that I know, the better. I have not, read into this hardly at all. Um, and that's good because that means the information comes across more pure. So who was this Wexner, Mr. Reality?
Well, we got to move on to the next question. Which prosecutors, what did they promise you in your 2007 immunity deal?
What did they promise you in your 2007 immunity deal? What were you promised? He was asked to hand over the goods. And this Wexner, did you handle a lot of money? Oh yeah, he handled a lot of money. Um, did you hand over any goods as far as like your immunity deal? So he handed over fake documents, fake books, fake lists.
Any
Um,
videos?
did you hand over any videos? Only one. So when we did that probe years ago, those tapes were hidden in a cave on Epstein Island, the blackmail tapes.
Were there blackmail tapes at from other ranch, like your Zorro Ranch and your New York place, or were they just from the island?
Were the blackmail tapes just from mostly from the island?
But were there any other compromising tapes from Zorro Ranch or from?
Were they from the ranch? Only a couple. There were some from airplanes. So would they meet? So would the clients, if somebody flew into the island on an airplane, would you like have them, did they always come off the airplane and get, no, not always. They would send the girls to the plane.
And how many girls does Jeffrey Epstein believe that he would have working for him on the island at the max capacity?
Max capacity. What was the amount of girls that were working on the maximum capacity? 30, when there would be big events, big parties, big events. I mean, he would get them all high on drugs, big time, applied with alcohol, just so that they would engage in the activity. Um, would you like buy them clothes and outfits and things all the time? And that, now that was her job. Her job was to make sure that they were dressed well, that they looked well. She also gave them lessons in etiquette, how to eat properly, because she's, I'm saying, why would you do that? She's like, well, some of them were like wild animals. They had no manners. They were uncouth, she says. So she had to train them.
Does Jeffrey Epstein feel like I don't know, we originally decided, or you uncovered, Liz, that Prince Andrew was the one that called the hit on Jeffrey Epstein. And so is he still have that belief that he was taken out by Prince Andrew?
Still have the belief that you were taken out, but absolutely 100%.
And how many
Prince
times?
Andrew arranged the hit through, was it through like MI5, MI6? It was. It was. And so did they bribe the guards? Oh God, yeah. Those guards were paid off for life.
And how many times was Prince Andrew a client, either on the island, or we've seen a lot of video and photographic evidence of him coming into your New York place?
Times was, I'm gonna ask her because she's, she was the one that kept up with this stuff more. Not that he wouldn't really know, but I want to ask her a few questions. How many times did Prince and oh, hundreds and hundreds of times Prince Andrew engaged in the service? Hundreds. He was there. Was he your best client? The best client. He was their number one client.
Did he pay for things or just got everything for free?
Did he pay for things? A bit of both. So he could arrange meetings where they could meet more high profile people. He was highly influential in recommending Epstein for investments, to this guy can make you a lot of money. Did he also pay? He also paid a lot of money, but the money came out of the royal purse. I mean, was it his personal money? No, it would come out of the royal family expense account. The taxpayers essentially were funding Epstein and Prince Andrew's, naughty behavior.
And there's probably not going to be any recompense for that.
Is there going to be any recompense for Prince Andrew? You have to wait until William gets in as king.
Okay, well,
William,
we'll hold our
William's
breath for that
gonna,
one.
yeah, William is going to take care of business. I'm going to ask Prince William, do you like your Uncle Andrew? No, he's a stain on the family. And what are your intentions when when you become king? He's going to throw him out and leave him poverty stricken like a pauper. And what about Sarah Ferguson? Her too. Um, let's ask Maxwell this question. Did Sarah Ferguson, Fergie, did she know that Andrew was using your services all the time? And she didn't mind that? He paid her off.
And she got paid off to turn the other way, or is that why she kind of stepped back
Let's
from her royal duties?
let's ask her. Um, so Prince Andrew, when he was engaging in this prostitution ring run by Epstein and Maxwell, yes, what about it? She's very, um, very stiff upper lip. Anyway, what did you like? How did you deal with it? Well, I mean, she would protest to the queen. She says, and you would tell the queen about the behavior all the time. And what would the queen do? She just dismissed it as if, well, the whatever. So who paid you off? The queen paid her off. The queen would give her lots of money to out of the royal family to keep her happy and to not complain and to not, what about go to the press? Go to the press or, just to sit there in the palace or the stately homes and to keep her mouth closed. And she was also given permission to have affairs herself as long as what Fergie is telling me, as long as she kept it exceptionally quiet, which wasn't the case because there was the whole infamous toe sucking thing that kind of blew her affair cover. And so, I mean, but did you love Andrew? I mean, she did love Andrew in the beginning. She did. She thought it was her dream come true. But did you know that he have affairs before you got married? All the time. But then she thought, well, once they're married, he's now a married man, he'll settle down. That wasn't the case at all. I mean, it just spiraled out of control.
And I guess she really couldn't do anything because she wanted to remain in the light, and you just take what you can do. Ghislaine Maxwell said that this picture was doctored. Does she really truly believe that, or is that just something that was in the script for her to say?
Oh, the picture of Virginia Jeffrey, you and Prince Andrew, was that doctored? Was that a doctored photo? No, that's not a doctored photo. That actually happened. Yes, that is an accurate photo. So why did you say it was doctored? Well, she just didn't want to be associated with it all.
And there she is photobombing again. And rest in peace, Virginia Giuffre, whatever. I can't pronounce her name correctly. My apologies.
Jeffrey. Yeah, we
And
did a whole video on her. A lot of people thought she was murdered and that she actually wasn't. But as you said her name, she's now appeared in my room and
oh,
she has punched Epstein in the face.
well, there's a
So I've
tell-all
got
book she's coming out with next
right.
month or in a couple months. And does she feel that the book will accurately portray what happened with her?
Mm. Do you feel the book will accurately portray what happened? Yes, she gave as much information over as she could possibly remember. But don't forget, these girls were drugged up a lot too.
And how many girls was Virginia in contact with at the maximum when she was performing illicit activities? Either, I don't know where she did this, but wherever she did.
How many, what was the maximum number of girls that, she's saying about 20. And were you in charge? She was in charge of some of them. She was kind of like a bit of the second madam. So would you say that Maxwell was like the first madam? Absolutely. Like Maxwell was the den mother and she was the, second madam in charge.
And did Virginia ever go out and actively seek and solicit other girls to help work with her or on the island or elsewhere?
Did you actively go out and seek and absolutely she did. She would find poor, down and out girls and, hey, you want to make some easy money? Let me introduce you. Now, some of the girls that she found were rejected. Um, there were a few that were accepted.
What
There's
was her
a lot of girls, sorry. She's telling me there's a lot of girls out there that are keeping their mouths closed because obviously they now have their own lives and they have children and they don't want to have their lives ruined and their reputation ruined because they've built up a new life. So they don't want to go back into this thing of, I was a prostitute for Jeffrey Epstein, right?
okay? And what were the qualifications that she was directed to look for in girls by Maxwell?
What were the qualifications that you were directed to look for in Max? Beauty, really just, are they smiling? Do they have a pretty smile? Are they beautiful? That was really it. What about like maintaining conversation with these high profile people? She's like, Liz, we didn't converse. Come on.
And I guess I want to ask Maxwell then, were any of the girls ever sold into like actual slavery, or were they just performing services?
Hmm. Were
Did she
any of
aware of any cross-continental or international slavery sales of girls?
were any of these girls sold by you or Epstein? Like to permanently sold? No, they kept hold of them. Did any of
Hmm.
them escape? Several escaped. Several of them would escape.
All right. Well, we're going to dig back into this another time, probably more deeply with some questions that you guys might have in the comments section below. And it's a salacious, sort of disgusting thing, but everybody wants to know. So we want to make sure we get your questions as well. So please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what you'd like to know, and we can dig into those questions the next time we do a mind probe on this.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are coming in with kind of a follow-up regarding the new book for about Prince Andrew. So all of this will tie in together. So we're collecting questions on the Patreon from our members for that. But yeah, if you do exactly right, as Mr. Reality said, if you do have questions for Maxwell, please put them down in the comments section. Wow, this was a great probe, Miss Reality, and just thank you so much. I know you put this together all by your lonesome, so we appreciate everything that you do. And don't forget, Mr. Reality does have a tip jar listed down below.
Thank you so much, Liz. Thanks, everybody out there. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.